So, I have come to another very beautiful part of the canal system to ask for your help, for your urgent help. Not for me, but for other people. Before I talk about that, I just need to do a little bit of video admin, as it were. So firstly, I'm at Blissworth, at the northern end of the Blissworth Tunnel, and I am nowhere near where the subject of today's video is. And I did consider going up to have a look, but I thought probably they've got enough people that are sort of milling around there already and people are nearby. So I thought actually what I could best do is stay away and ask for your help somewhere which is just visually pleasant to see. So here I am at Blissworth you can just see there, the northern tunnel entrance. I'll turn round when I get to the bottom. The second piece of admin is about comments on this video. This video is a call for help, and it's a really serious matter. So it's not a place for anybody, including me, to be criticising the Canal and River Trust or to be criticising the Inland Waterways Association or the National Association of Boat Owners or the National Association of Bargee Travellers. Now, please, by all means, go and make your criticisms on others of my videos, but if you start having a pop at people on this video, I'm just going to remove the comments. This isn't that video. Okay, that, by the way, includes, I've included some footage in this video, which is from the YouTube channel Tailors Aboard a Narrowboat. They were close to the breach, and they have a drone, and they sent it up, and they took some footage, which is really useful. I did ask them if I could use the footage, and I think I got more or less permission. I got a like to the comments, which I think is from Josh, from that channel. If it isn't Josh, I apologise for using your footage. If you need me to take it down, of course I will. But I hope that it is being used for a good, cause. Also, by the way, occasionally people have commented on my channel that they don't like Josh's style of making videos. That's fine. I think probably Josh himself would say, look, if you don't like a particular channel, there's no law saying you have to watch it. That's not a problem. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Again, here is not the place to be having a pop at people. Okay, on to the actual issue. Some of you know what it is. This last Monday the 22nd of December 2025, a major canal breach happened on the Llangollen Canal, near a small suburb called Chemistry, of all places. The canal collapsed. Here is where I'm going to put up Josh's footage. A large section of the canal, which was on an embankment, collapsed into the field next to it. And what is a problem about this, I mean, apart from the obvious, but what is different between this and other breaches is that, as you can see, one boat was immediately sucked into the collapse, another boat fell into the collapse subsequently, and a third boat is sort of teetering on the edge. This is a bit terrifying, to be honest with you. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but I think you can see how incredibly nearly fatal it could have been. So, this is the call for help. What can we do to help? Well, I'm going to suggest that there are three things that you can do, and I hope you will do them, and I am doing all three of them. The first thing is, various people have commented that the canal boats that have been sucked into the breach look all right. And sure, they're made of metal, they're big metal boxes, but they are not designed to be supported at one end and not the other. They're certainly not designed to be rattled around and thrown down holes. There is going to be a substantial quantity of damage, both internally and externally, to all three of those boats. And whilst we don't know yet, there is a good chance that they will be damaged, or some of them will be damaged beyond repair. These are not the toys of rich people. Okay, these are people's homes. And it's the day before Christmas, or the days before Christmas. I would be very remiss if I didn't say that there is a GoFundMe to help specifically those boats that have been damaged and homes lost in this breach. The GoFundMe is up on the screen now, and I shall also link to it in the description. So that's the first thing you can do. You can give a small amount of money. If lots of people give a small amount of money, then these people can be helped. I'm not naming them, and I'm not naming their boats. They deserve their privacy, but I hope you can see that, it will be a very human thing to do. Doesn't need to be a large amount of money, just a small amount of money will do, but just so that they know that they are not alone, and that they know that humans are fundamentally nice, and so that they can start to rebuild their lives. Some people have said, well, the boats will be insured. I don't know how insured the boats are. I don't know whether acts of God are excluded. They are in my policy. And I don't know whether this counts as an act of God. But in any case, it's not going to be a cheap thing to do to help them get their boat back on track. The second thing you can do is, I know going to be more contentious, and I know I'm going to be deleting comments about this, and I don't like the idea of having to do it, but regardless of what you feel about the Canal and River Trust, they will need lots of money, several £1 million, to repair this. And the faster they can repair it, the faster the canal system can be back and operational again. Please consider making a donation to the CRT to help them with the repair costs of the canal. They are very strapped for cash. We don't know why this collapse happened, by the way. Various people have said, oh, there's a culvert nearby, which there is, but the culvert looks undamaged. And it's on a large embankment. And, embankments sometimes collapse. And the canal system is old. And the CRT is not well funded. So if we can, help the whole canal system by donating to the CRT so they can get this mended, so much the better. Of those two things, if you can only afford one, I would say, please donate to the GoFundMe. If you could afford a small amount of money to both, I think that would be really, really helpful. I know I'm going to get the usual comments about, the CRT, blah, 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 wasting money, blah, 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 paying the CEO £1 million a minute, blah, blah, blah. That's not relevant. Please don't do that on this video. I will simply remove the comments. That's not what this video is for. The third thing you can do doesn't involve money on your part. It just involves a bit of time. And please, please do it again. I will do it as well. And that is, please, please contact your MP about the state of funding on the canal system. This is the fourth major breach in the last year. And the CRT do inspect all of the canal system. In fact, the Hungochen Canal breach was inspected just recently. So it's not necessarily a failure of maintenance which has caused this. but it is symptomatic of the whole system. It is creaking at the edges because of lack of funding. And this particular breach is a really, really good illustration that this isn't, a little matter of, wouldn't it be nice if the canals were safe? Sooner or later, the lack of funding will kill boaters. And again, these aren't hobbyists or skydivers who occasionally die in an accident, but, you always have the option of not skydiving. A lot of us live on our boats. This is where we live. This is our house. If there was a tower block disaster which happened, and you know that they have, there would be a huge public outcry and public inquiries and so on. On the canal system currently, there is nothing, and it is a disaster waiting to happen. So please write to your MP and make this point. Please ask your MP of whatever political colour, this is not a party political thing, to ask the government to adequately fund the safety of the canal system. In the grand scheme of things, it's pennies in the grand budget. It's not like the NHS, which requires billions to prop up or to get back to where it should be. We're talking a few million quid a year, which in the grand scheme of things is nothing. And if we don't, people are going to die. So that is the third thing that you can do, and I sincerely hope that you will. This is a call for help. I hope you are able to help. If you're not able to help, financially, I get it. I really do. So, under those circumstances, please just do the writing to your MP thing. In any case, one good thing, let's finish on a good thing. A really good thing. This disaster has resulted in a lot of people pulling together and a lot of people demonstrating some really goodwill for the benefit of the community. Bearing in mind that the canal community is not just canal boaters, it's walkers and fishers and all sorts. So, it does give me some hope in human nature. In any case, wherever you are, I hope that you have a lovely, lovely Christmas, and that in the new year, you are refreshed and ready to go and do whatever it is you want to do. Have a nice Christmas, and I shall see you next year. Goodbye.